every human being, every man and woman must remember about their past, because everyone has memory. Memory is an integral part of every human being. So everyone must remember. So when I said this, what was the reply? He said, "Oh no, it is a science, and science has no right to interfere in science has no right to interfere in religious matters." He said that this is my belief, this is my religious belief, and what you are saying, that is science. So science has no right to interfere in my religious affairs. This kind of answer is quite wrong, ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But that gentleman was living in this ridiculous position. Although I gave him a very powerful argument, I presented before him a powerful scientific argument, but he refused to accept it. Why? Because he was not sincere. He was living in bias. He was deprived of objective thinking. This is not an answer that science has no right to interfere in my religion. It's nothing. This sentence this sentence may be grammatically true. Science has no right to interfere in my religion. Grammatically it is true, but in fact it is wrong. So, in this case, you can see that when one is not sincere, he cannot find truth. Sincerity is must in this pursuit. Truth requires a very, very serious pursuit, very sincere pursuit. So one who is deprived of this quality, he cannot find truth. For example, if there is sunlight, if there is no cloud in the atmosphere and sun is rising, sun is shining, everywhere there is light, but if you close your eyes, if you close your both eyes, then for you there is no light. Then for you there is no light. So thus is the case of those people who are deprived of sincerity. An insincere person is like one who has closed his eyes, so he was not able to see the sunlight. So this is the second condition towards finding the truth. First was seeking spirit. Without seeking spirit, you are not candidate to this pursuit, to this campaign. The first prerequisite or first condition is that you must have seeking spirit. Seeking spirit means the truth is your sole concern. You are a person that can say that I cannot live without truth. Without truth, all those things are meaningless for me. All those palaces, all those bank balance, all those comforts and luxuries, all those entertainment, all those gossip cultures, everything is meaningless for me until I find the truth. So seeking spirit is first prerequisite. Seeking spirit is the first condition. Then the second condition is sincerity. Sincerity makes you to live with open eyes. Sincerity makes you to live with objectivity. Sincerity makes you able to remove your biases. Sincerity makes you able to see things in a realistic manner. So this is the second condition. Sincerity is the second condition. Then let us take the third condition. According to my experience, the third condition in this pursuit is readiness to surrender before reason. This is the third condition. Now, to illustrate this point, I will give an example. In 1965, I was in Lucknow. So, I happened to meet a scholar. He was a philosopher. He was MA in philosophy. MA in philosophy. Then he prepared his thesis on Bertrand's philosophy. You know, Bertrand Russell was an atheist, perhaps greatest atheist of this time. So he was influenced by the Bertrand Russell's thought, and he became an atheist. I was a believer in God. I was a believer and he was an atheist. So there was a difference between the thinking. During conversation, he said that, what criterion do you have to prove the existence of God? I remember that place. It was a great experience of my life. So he asked, what criterion do you have to prove the existence of God? Then there is a pause. After a little pause, I said, the same criterion which you have to prove anything else. I have the same criterion which you have to prove anything else. And he became silent. Conversation reached to the end. It was shortest dialogue, perhaps in history. One question, one answer. And it was the dialogue ended. Perhaps it was the shortest dialogue in the history. He said, what criterion do you have to prove the existence of God? I said, the same criterion you have to prove anything else. And the dialogue finished. Why? Why? It was not mysterious. There is no mystery in this dialogue. The reason was that this gentleman was a learning person. He was aware of the limitations of science.